Blake Lively's cover-up is crumbling, and now the real courtroom truth is coming out. From explosive redactions to alleged PR smokescreens, the Hollywood illusion may finally be cracking. Stay tuned. This story has more twists than a prestige drama. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds us to be practically the gold standard, but in recent years they painted themselves really bad to the general public. They usually fall apart the moment the courtroom doors swing open. Because while the public was busy laughing at Ryan Reynolds' latest sarcastic tweet or admiring Blake Lively's Met Gala glow, something much less glamorous was quietly unfolding behind the scenes. Court filings, redacted documents, allegations that refuse to stay buried. And at the center of it all, a legal battle involving Justin Baldoni and claims that now threaten to unravel Hollywood's most polished image. If you've ever skimmed a legal document, you know they're usually about as exciting as watching paint dry, unless half the page is blacked out. In recent court filings tied to the Baldoni case, observers noticed something unusual: extensive redactions. Not the routine kind that protects personal addresses or phone numbers, but entire sections obscured, conversations missing, timelines blurred. Legal experts were quick to point out that redactions are often used strategically. Sometimes they protect sensitive information. Other times, they simply delay uncomfortable truths from becoming public. Several commentators noted that the redacted portions appeared to align with key narrative moments, the very details that could clarify who knew what and when. Around the same period these legal filings were quietly making their way through the courts, something else was happening very loudly online: a wave of unrelated Blake Lively headlines. Fashion features, light-hearted interviews, viral throwback clips, a sudden surge of positive press. Hollywood PR isn't random, it's surgical. Entire teams exist to shape narratives, redirect attention, and keep uncomfortable stories from gaining traction. That doesn't mean every headline is fake, but it does mean attention can be steered. If there's one unexpected twist in this saga, it's how Justin Baldoni became such a focal point. According to supporters, Baldoni's legal position relied less on media theatrics and more on documentation, emails, timelines, and statements that painted a more complex picture than what early headlines suggested. And while his team remained relatively restrained publicly, the courtroom became the real battleground. That's when a pattern allegedly began to emerge. Claims contradicted by timelines. Statements that didn't align with earlier communications. And once again, redactions where clarity should have been. A judge doesn't care how many followers you have. A deposition doesn't laugh at your jokes. And a sworn statement doesn't bend for charm. In public, stories can be shaped. In court, stories must be consistent. And as proceedings moved forward, legal analysts began pointing out something subtle but critical: pressure. We've all seen it in our own lives. The coworker who controls the narrative. The friend who looks perfect online but is chaos behind closed doors. This story taps into that universal frustration. This case is a reminder that stories have layers. What you see on the surface is rarely the whole truth. And sometimes, the most revealing details are the ones someone tried hardest to hide. Stay curious. Question narratives that feel too perfect. Engage thoughtfully. Don't just consume headlines.